Good morning. So I have before me two copies of Tales from the Smoking Worm, issue number 8. This one was printed in December, January. This one was printed in March, late February and March. And they're subtly different. And to not bury the lead, the good news is we've solved all the printing problems. And I thought I'd just show you a side-by-side comparison so you could see them, hopefully. What you might recognize immediately is that this one here on the left is more intense and darker than the one here on the right. Right? You can see this has more pigment in it than this one. And that's what we've had to do, is desaturate the pigment a little bit in order to get the lamination to adhere to. This is printed at 270% ink, so there's 270% of the normal amount of ink on here. So 100% would be full ink of one color, but there's 3 actual colors here, and so we get to 270%. One of them is not quite at the full saturation. Here, we've dropped it down to maybe like 240% is what I'm understanding, and that's a significant difference. However, it also solves the fundamental problem of the laminate adhering to the edges of the paper. And let me explain that in a little more detail here on the front. So on the front here, on the one on the left, which is the one printed in January, if you can hear that little feathering sound, and it's not at all present here. So it has a superior binding of the laminate, of the color laminate. But what you see is a general desaturation of the colors. And oddly enough, this is the color profile that was suggested to us by Risograph after they looked at this color profile, which was a little more pale. You can see the differences here in the coloration of the wall. And so there's more gradation in colors here because there's more of this kind of hot color and more of this pale pink color. And whereas here, it's much more similar across that gradient. And so this is actually, the reprint gets us truer to what we originally had suggested to the printer. That's just an aside. I don't think it has anything to do with the final outcome. I think they just, when they were dialing back the colors, we ended up closer to that profile. But you can tell, when I put this over it, that there is a significant difference in color intensity and everything. And you can tell down here in the blacks that they're not quite as 100% black. They don't ever get to a full black anyway. We did take this opportunity to fix size issues on a couple things and everything on the cover. But in general, we have solved the problem, which is what we're looking for. Now, if we go into the inside, there's really only 2 pages of interest to us here. The first was right here, page 9. So if you look at these two in comparison, you should see that this one has more of a gray cast and this one is clean all the way throughout. And so that's the difference between those there. And what was happening was there was a little 1% gray color on the initial scan that we couldn't see, that has been filtered out on this reprint. And the same thing is true if we go all the way to the back and look at this picture of an eye wizard. And if you look at, this is the first printing, this is the second printing. If you look closely, you can see these little black dots, and they're all gone here. I don't know if I can zoom in to help you see that in any appreciable way. There, it should be visible. So you can see the little, just little dots of gray. They're totally gone here. And that's what's important. And so with that, actually, issue 8 is done for the risographic holders. So we'll be signing these, are numbering these and everything this week and packaging them up. These I'm going to reserve because Rizzo's just given them to us to do something with except sell. And so they're going to become part of my DCC Day giveaway. So you might be able to find these in the wild on DCC Day. They'll come in a nice little pamphlet holder, actually, so that with a little explanation of what's wrong with this issue and how to properly take care of it. Because the content inside is perfectly valid and usable. There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah. With that, the 7/8 printing odyssey is finished, and we'll get these out to you right away. Thank you very much. Have a great day.